What's happening, y'all? 2025, and we live.
Tonight on Underneath the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite, we have holistic health guru, the Scorpion King. So sit back, relax, get your contact in his info.
Welcome to Underneath the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. And I am your host, Eddie Dynamite, man. It's good to see y'all again back in 2025. You know what I'm saying? Well, the white man New Year. We know how that goes. But tonight, man, I got a special guest, man. I've been waiting on him for so long to drop these jewels on y'all, man, because we need it right now, especially the way things going that I've been seeing in this environment that is right at this moment. Tonight, I got my guy, the Scorpion King, man. Everybody, welcome on into the show. You know what I'm saying?
Peace, King. Peace, King.
Peace,
Peace to the
peace, peace,
family.
peace. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Couldn't be no better.
I know it. I know it. It's good to see you, man. Hey, we need you right now, man. They out here coughing, sneezing, touching everything, man. Acting crazy, throwing up, diarrhea. Everybody sick, not taking care of themselves. We just coming off the COVID situation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why we in this again. We should have learned from this, but I got my brother here, man. I know you're gonna drop some jewels and let them know. But before we get into all of this, tell us where you're from and your background on holistic medicine.
I'm originally from New York, Queens to be exact. And my holistic background has been something that's been I kind of grew up with that because in my environment was a lot of West Indians, a lot of Jamaicans, Trinidadians, a lot of foreigners. And being around that culture, I was exposed to a lot of, herbs and good ingredients, things like
Right.
that, tonics, wood root, all the good stuff that's good. So as I got older, just going through the trials and tribulations, dealing with my own health issues. And yeah, I had a situation where I was dealing with a bad digestive system, and that was actually got me into really digging deeper into nutritional health because I went to the hospital about 4 or 5 times and they couldn't find out what was wrong with it. So, I eventually dived in and started getting into my books and learning these herbs. So I say I've been doing it for about a good 15 years straight now.
Oh man, that's good, man. You've been in this a long time, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It sound like from what you just gave us, you've been studying and putting your time in, and it's in your DNA. Sound like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And then as I got older, like I mentioned, around the age I say about my early 20s, I became a certified personal trainer and a certified nutritionalist. So, that was time to go ahead and do the schooling and put the paper to the background.
Right, right. And what you saying that your family, coming from your Caribbean background, your family was deep into these herbs. Who was the first person to expose you to like this is what this is for, this what you can use this for? You know, who was that in your family that put you really on like that?
Well, I would say my pops. He would come around with wood root. That was the first thing we was introduced to, wood root, and
Okay.
we take it in a little shot glass. It was disgusting, and just kind of like learning the old tales. My grandfathers.
Right, right,
One thing
okay.
my grandfather always did was whenever he came and visited, there was no candy, cakes, none of that. It's always a bag of
Mm,
fruits.
mm,
He would always constantly give us them fruits. We wasn't allowed to eat candies, drink sodas, and do certain things. All the other children was able to do.
right,
So
right.
yeah, I would say mainly my family. It was something it was a seed that was in my subconscious,
Mm,
and when I
mm,
needed it, I went there and grabbed the seed and nurtured it and grew it to what we have today.
right, right, right. Oh man, very interesting. So let's get into the meat and the nitty gritty, man. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? So how with all of this pneumonia and still remnants of COVID and flu, how can we take care of ourselves better this season?
That's a good question. I will first say, what causes a lot of mucus buildup. That's where you get a lot of this flu and all of those congestions. A lot of mucus buildup. So what I would tell people is, try to lay off a lot of the dairy products, lay off a lot of sugars, a lot of things that carry these bad bacterias and pathogens. Because what it does is it kind of coincides with our bodies and our bacteria, and it creates a it creates a not good environment. So whenever your bacteria in your stomach is imbalanced, it creates a array of problems. So whenever you constantly be getting sick, constantly have mucus in your system, you
Mhm.
lacking good bacteria. So I will first tell people, try to cut off the dairy products. If you can, lay off the meats if you are going through, got the flu or got any, because
Mm,
all that does
mm.
is causes more mucus. A lot of
Oh
the
wow.
foods are not, a lot of the foods are not real. A lot of the foods are not good for us. So
Right, right.
to kind of subside a lot of the the bad effects from it. Just I would say fasting will be something good to do.
Mm,
Fasting, let's say if you sick right now, you got the flu, you got congestion, go
hmm.
on a 2-day, 3-day fast. Just try to drink liquids and fruits, and stay away from the meats, because all that's gonna do is just multiply and make it worse.
Right, right, right. So I never knew the coincide with the dairy and the meat and getting and what you getting sick. Is it what inside of the dairy or the meat does this to your body? Can you give me a little more? Because I think that's very interesting. They really need to know that, because me coming up in the South, I've
Hmm.
never I've never heard don't eat the meat, don't eat the dairy. You know what I'm saying? When I'm normally sick, you even giving people chicken soup, because that's meat. You know what I'm saying? They
Hmm.
still eating and drinking that. So I mean, is something like that still good for you? Or I mean, what can they take if that's maybe that's dairy and meat is a big part of someone's diet. So they're taking this out and they don't have anything, and they thinking, oh, I don't have anything to eat. You know how people go. What can they do to replace those things to make sure that they can get better with their health, or the sickness can go away, or to reduce the mucus?
Absolutely. So the reason why the meat and the milk causes the mucus is
Hmm.
because if you look at all the meat packets, it has antibiotics in it. So that that
Mm,
that kind of gives us the awareness that this meat that we're eating was sick at some point in time.
mm,
So if they
mm,
feeding it the antibiotics, what does the antibiotics do to the human body? If you go to the doctor and they give you antibiotics, it's gonna kill good bacteria and bad bacteria. It's gonna
wow,
wash out everything.
I never
So you're
thought about
not keep so you're not keeping any good bacteria in your system by
it. Hmm.
eating an animal product which they pump antibiotics in. Now, not
Mm,
only that, we're mixing that blood and those hormones with our hormones, and now
mm,
we start to behave like the animals that we eat. That's why they say you are what you eat.
mm,
Milk also has a lot of pus in it. We are the
hmm.
only human species that drinks another animal's milk. We so only supposed to drink our mother's milk. You don't see
Mm,
any other species going to a cow saying, "Hey, let me drink some of your milk." It's not
right.
normal. It's not normal. It pretty much bases upon businesses. They
Hmm.
found the way to create a business, find a way to make money, take money from the people. So they're gonna create these ideologies and things that they believe that we're supposed to follow, and in all
Right. Like that,
actuality,
like milk does the body good, that type shit. Right.
correct. Yeah, and substitutions that you could drink is coconut milk. Coconut milk
Mm,
is good. You
mm.
get the same amount of vitamin D in it, plus you get the good fats that you need.
Oh wow.
Almond
Okay.
almond milk is decent, for the
Mhm.
ones who want to get off of milk and still have that thickness and the rich flavor and the taste. You could do some almond milk.
What about
Um,
the soy? What about the soy milk?
I would stay away from soy. Any soy. So soy pretty much raises a lot of the estrogen. That's what's happening, for reason why a lot of people are getting cancers and women are getting the breast cancers. There's a lot of
Mm,
estrogen being risen. So when you raise too much estrogen, that's when you got, the people, the men who have the man, they call them man boobs, the
right. Right.
saggy body, they're more high in estrogen.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
with them being more high in estrogen, they're more susceptible to certain diseases, because as
Uh,
a male, we're supposed to be high in testosterone.
right. 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 Any cheese? What about the cheeses?
Cheeses,
Hmm.
as far as
Cheese, butter, yogurt, that type of thing.
I mean, so now when we get into like cheese and yogurt, so all of those are dairy products. Me
Hmm.
personally, I wouldn't recommend a person to eat yogurt, because people eat yogurt strictly for probiotics. I
Right.
would do a substitute of a yogurt would be like a kombucha, which is a natural bacteria that they take off of a scrub, excuse me, a shrub tree,
Mm,
and they actually soak it, and you get kombucha, which is in that shrub is a bunch of bacteria, which is good for our body. So I wouldn't
mm.
recommend any probiotic yogurts
And say that
or
again.
anything.
What is kombucha?
Yeah,
Is it a
kombucha.
is it a liquid form? Is it what? How do you get it? Does it come in a jar, a bottle, or does it come as an actual produce? How does it look?
Yeah, so it's in a glass bottle. You know, you got
Okay,
different
okay,
brands of it. You got Synergy is a good brand.
okay, okay,
Um,
okay.
I think it's Bavita is a good brand.
Mhm.
They have it in a tea form as well. You can get it in, you know, like a box of tea. You go to the store, it's a little tea
But
packet.
it's something you can
Um,
find in the grocery store in your regular grocery store.
all day, every day, all
Okay,
day, every
okay,
day.
cool,
Yep.
cool, cool, cool.
Hmm.
Most definitely, most definitely. Y'all hear that, man? You get that kombucha, get yourself up, man. And that seems like that's a good substitute. Sounds like to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Because then you substitute all the other byproducts that they put in these yogurts and these milks to give it good flavor, to make it rich for us to for it to taste good. I want to
mhm.
stress the fact that the best things that are healthy for us don't taste are not appeasing to the taste buds.
Right, got you, got you. You're right about that because I done
Hmm.
had some nasty, nasty tonics and bitters and yeah. But
And
like
it
you
worked
said,
though. It worked.
yeah, most definitely, most definitely, most
It
definitely.
worked.
That's not a lie. That's true. That's true. And
Mhm.
and always worked for me. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So so um before I get into that, before the other herbs, when you let's I know you mentioned the dairy already. So about
Mhm.
the meat, now we got a lot of people running into now what you said about the meat. So instead of eating the meat, somebody that's really a meat lover, can they still eat these impossible burgers and this beyond meat and this, you know what I'm saying, this substitute meat they got? Is that better for them than eating the regular meat, or what's the deal with that?
Oh, that's a great question. I would just say that stay away from the soy. So a lot of these so-called vegan meats and vegan
Hmm.
packs, they
Hmm.
are still bioengineered.
Mm,
So they're still creating it in a lab, which is the same form of them creating a chicken. They
right.
created in the lab. So
Hmm.
as far as those, if a person were to eat like plant-based meats, get the
Hmm.
ones that strictly, if you look at the ingredients, non-bioengineered and strictly plant-based. When you got too
Okay.
much soy in there, like I told you, the soy causes the men to have high estrogen, causes men to get cancer, and also women who have too much estrogen can get cancer as well. So you want to be careful with these quote unquote vegan products, because sometimes they're not just as good, because when you turn a label around, when you
Hmm.
see that bioengineered, it strictly means it was made in a lab. Me and you made it in our house, well, in a lab somewhere,
Hmm.
and then we package it up and give it to the people,
Oh, wow.
from
Wow.
chemicals, which is not good.
Which is definitely not good. Wow. So what's the deal with them putting soy and everything? I mean, what's up with that?
So soy is a filler. So you can
Mm,
manufacture a lot of soybeans. So
okay.
soy is pretty much a filler. So when they put the soy in it, it gives it that texture. It gives it that meat texture.
Hmm.
So that way, and then they put the flavor of meat. So when you eat it, they claim that it's good for you. But yeah, the soy is just a filler to give it that fluff and that texture. So we can it can it
No
can taste good
nutrients,
too.
nothing you getting out of that. Nothing you getting out of that soy. No minerals, nutrients, nothing.
I would stay away from soy. Soy is
Mm,
known to be high estrogen, even if it may have health benefits.
mhm.
Sometimes the disadvantages outweigh the health benefits.
Most definitely. Okay. Okay. Because you got some people out here that swear by that soy, and from what you saying, that ain't too good. It sounds like that's a big cancer group right there.
It
You know.
definitely is. It definitely is. Yep, it
Mm.
definitely is.
Okay. Well. Stepping into going into um since we're talking about these produce or products or these herbs or whatever, let's get into this. We always hear about this sea moss. Um, how true is it about the health benefits of the sea moss, and does taking it every day or taking it on a regular routine really do anything to improve your health?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So sea moss, I feel like is one of the greatest algae on the planet. The second one, I would say the top two algae is chlorella and sea moss.
Mm,
Now, which makes sea moss so significant is that sea moss is found in the water. What the sea moss does is that it latches on a rock. Once it latches on a rock, it extracts all the valuable minerals and everything that the human body needs,
mm,
because we are somewhat of the planet as well. The same way we need vitamins and minerals, we got the same vitamin and minerals that come from rocks.
right.
So the sea moss latches itself on a rock, extracts it, and then when we consume the sea moss, we consume the 92 minerals that was bathing in our ocean and when it latched on that rock. So
Mm.
yeah, you definitely get the benefits. As a matter of fact, give me 1 second. Can you pass me that bag real quick? Just to show you what it looks like, what real sea moss looks like, because you want
Okay.
Condorus crispus sea moss. You got a
Mm.
lot of this fake
Mm.
sea
Hold on,
moss
hold on,
out
hold on,
here.
hold on. You say that again. You really went a little too quick for me. Chondrus crispus. So is that a
Not the bag.
type of sea moss, or what does that mean?
Yeah, so Condorus crispus is a type of sea moss. So you got a lot of sea moss that's fake. You know, you
Mm,
got a lot of sea moss that's made in labs,
mm,
made in tanks. You know, people
okay.
just trying to profit because, like I said, once they hear things is profitable,
Hmm.
everybody wants to, try to cut costs and want to do the quote unquote bootleg thing. So
Because that
there's a
was gonna
lot
be
of
that was gonna be, not to cut you off. That was gonna be my next question, because I was gonna ask you about the farm sea moss. Is that any different than the wild sea moss? Is that even any better, or does it matter? Does it make a difference?
Yes, it makes a big difference. So my analogy is this, right? We got this watermelon. Everybody knows about the watermelon. Get the
Right.
watermelons with the seed, and then
Hmm.
the
Right.
watermelons with the non-seed. So my
Hmm.
analogy to that is the watermelon with the seed is that you're getting from the original source.
Mm,
So when you're getting
mm,
wild sea moss, you're getting it from the original source. When you're getting seedless watermelon, you're getting watermelon somebody created, which doesn't have any life form in it.
mm,
You want to get things that have life in it.
mm,
And this
mm.
is what real sea moss looks like.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
not over salty, it's not over thick, just to show the people what it looks like a little bit.
Oh wow.
This is real sea moss.
Mm. I've never seen real sea moss. That's hey, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
so me and my
Not
wife,
not
we make
not
this
in
into
that form.
gel.
Okay. Okay.
We turn
Okay.
this into gel, and we sell it. I give you the website at the end of the video for people who want to check out the sea moss if they want to purchase some. But yeah, the sea moss you want to get also is Condorus crispus.
Hmm.
That is a specific species of sea moss which has the health benefits of it.
Right.
Algae. This is just nothing but an algae. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people kind of get a little tantalized with the word sea moss, and they think like sea moss is like some out of this world thing. It's nothing but an algae, just like spirulina is an algae and chlorella is an algae. Sea moss is an algae. Those three are the top algae that I would recommend for people who's trying to get their their vitamin and mineral content. So yeah, that's what the sea moss is.
So King, what kind of vitamins and minerals are we getting from the sea moss?
So you're getting pretty much all of your minerals. Vitamins come after. So you cannot
Mm,
simulate vitamins without the minerals. Our
gotcha.
bodies need trace minerals. That's something that we need, which is
Teach, King.
sodium,
Teach.
potassium, copper, iron, and magnesium, and zinc. So there's certain minerals that we need that's trace, and why they call it trace minerals is you can't live without these minerals, and you only need small trace amounts of them.
Mm,
So out of
mm,
the 72, out of the 92 minerals, your body will assimilate the ones that it needs the most, which is the trace minerals, and then all the other minerals will go to the places that it needs in your body or sit in your body to when you need to assimilate them, they're ready to be used.
oh wow. Wow. Mm, the body is a machine, boy, I tell you. Mm.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So um another thing I see people doing, and this is I wonder, and I don't know if it's any good or whatever. What is the difference of people mixing like fruit with the sea moss? Should you take it raw? Is the best to take it natural, like with anything, or can you mix it with the fruit, or does it make a difference? You know what I'm saying? What does the fruit do, or does the fruit take away from it? I mean, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, so I don't recommend anyone cutting the sea moss with anything. Most people do
Mm,
that. Most people do the fruit thing to kind of appease the taste of people.
okay,
I
okay.
tell people, just fight through the taste. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mhm,
healthy
mhm.
for you because what happens is when you start cutting the sea moss with fruits, now the minerals have to fight with the sugar.
Mm.
See, sometimes sugar kills minerals. So when you
Right.
cutting it with the sugar, yeah, you getting a nice flavor, you getting a nice taste, but you may not be getting the whole 92 spectrum of minerals. Once you put that sugar in there, you might cut it down to 20, you might cut it down to 10.
Mm,
So I
mm.
recommend people do not, if something's healthy, I wouldn't recommend adding sweetener in it because sweetener is only going to dilute the potency of what you're taking.
Oh, wow. Okay. 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 Makes sense. Makes sense. So, what about when I see them say you should also add the bladder rack and burdock root? Are those two good herbs to go with the sea moss? Or
Oh,
what's your feeling on that?
oh yeah, that's a fact. I'm a firm believer in burdock root,
Mm.
bladderwrack. So what that does is the burdock root and the bladderwrack adds the rest of the minerals, which makes it 102. So it
Oh,
goes from
gotcha.
92 to 102 to where you get the full spectrum of minerals. So
Mm, mm,
it's the same thing with the bladderwrack. Bladderwrack is also an algae found in the water as well.
okay. Okay.
That's why they pair together. They're like twin cousins. When they get
Mm,
together, is good. Now the burdock root, oh, the burdock root is excellent. The burdock root is extremely good for a blood cleanse. Full
mm,
blood cleanse burdock root will clean your blood to the T.
mm,
So I definitely recommend people who want an extra blood cleanse to definitely get some burdock root and pair it
mm-hmm.
with some chlorophyll.
Get some chlorophyll. Okay. Okay.
Yep. If you take
Liquid
chlorophyll for
chlorophyll.
2 weeks, if you take liquid chlorophyll for 2 weeks, is equivalent to a blood transfusion.
Oh, wow. Mm,
Mhm.
heavy, heavy,
Life
heavy.
is life is in the blood. We got to focus on the blood, and that's why we got so much dysfunction with the digestive tract and then the body. When your body's not digesting food,
Hmm.
chunks of those food particles go into the bloodstream.
Right.
Now
Right.
you start to develop array of diseases that people don't have the full understanding to.
That's heavy. And that you took it to another place. Teach, 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 King. So, so stepping off the sea moss for a minute.
Mhm.
What about the elderberry? Because I hear that a lot. Elderberry stops the cold and flu. Elderberry this, elderberry that. I'm gonna ask you the same question about the elderberry. Is it true about the health benefits of the elderberry, and should we take it on a regular regimen, and will it help improve us?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So elderberry is one of the highest form of vitamin C.
Mm,
That's what makes the elderberry so powerful. And
got
elderberry is actually a berry, which is an electric to our body. So we are electric beings.
it.
So when we eat foods that are high in electricity, that feeds is our charge and it boosts our battery. So now
Mm,
we have a better well-being of life. We feel better, and we have a good quality. What's the sense of living to 100 with poor quality? I want to
right.
live to 100 and have good quality. Yeah, I made it to 100, but if I'm taking pills, my back hurts, I can't walk. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. That's not a good quality. So I push quality. So if you were to get elderberry, I recommend getting it organic. I also got the elderberry as well. My elderberry has elderberry in it, cinnamon, organic clove, organic ginger. So this is not only good for immune system, it's good for your digestive system, and it's good for all organs in your body.
Mm, most definitely.
So
Most
yeah,
definitely.
I highly recommend elderberry, and that's something that you could do every day. Something that you could do every day is maintenance. And yeah, I mean, with these products, I can't tell you the last time I got sick.
So um, with the elderberry going back, just like the sea moss, are you blending it, like you said, with anything like to add an extra boost to it? Because I see some people have ginger, honey. I've got some from you, and I love your products, but we'll get into that later. But
Right.
the elderberry definitely. I seen you mix it with the ginger, the cinnamon. What does that do? Does it add an extra boost to it? I mean, what does is that better than taking it just by itself?
Yeah, so I feel like anything that you can add a powerhouse to is always better because these ingredients that you add is not taken away from the elderberry. Sometimes
Mm,
when you mix ingredients together, you may take away from one and add potency to the other. These herbs that are put in here, they all in sync. They all
right.
keep their individual potency. So yeah,
Mhm.
this one has the garlic. I mean, excuse me, the ginger, organic ginger, clove,
Mm,
cinnamon,
mm.
the elderberry, and a little bit of honey. You know,
Mm, mm.
organic honey to kind of give
Okay.
it that taste. And then organic honey is also good for your immune system as well.
So taking a put a pin right there for me because I want to segue into that about the honey because I don't see a whole lot of people ask. Now I've seen people say you should get this honey with the comb or this honey here or this type of honey. What is the best type of honey that we should be taking?
So yeah, I'm all about pure and I'm all about source. So if you can get a honey from a honeycomb, they do have some in the store where they actually have the cone in the bottle. I would say that's one of the best forms of the honey because you want to get raw honey. As long as your honey is raw, the honey's good, you know. And when it comes from the bees create most of the source of the honey. So if you got a clove and it's dipped in the bottle in the honey, you know the bees did their job to it. So it's very potent. So yeah, the combs with the honey is very good. You muted. I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry about that.
You good
So
now?
yeah, we always hear about this different things with the honey. So that's thank you for clearing that up, most definitely.
hmm Yeah,
So
definitely. As long as it's raw, as long as it say raw, you good with the honey. If you can't find some honey that came from the bees, you definitely
mhm.
do that.
uh, uh. So Um, besides those two big items, because that's really what we see, the sea moss and the elderberry, what are any other herbals that we can take for maybe even not just to help clear up anything that we may have, but just to prevent us from getting sick and can give us probably those same type of uh of health benefits.
All right, so these are my three things that I would focus on because I feel like this is why a lot of people lack health. Um, I would say number one is hydration. Number one, you need to take electrolytes. You need to put some salt in your water. The reason why I say that is because a lot of us lack hydration and we don't realize that. And we're tired, we're sluggish, the brain ain't moving correctly, and we think that we're missing a supplement. And sometimes this is very as simple as, keeping your body hydrated, making sure you have the right amino acid complex, which amino acids are our building blocks of life. Every amino acid targets an important part of our body, which helps us function. And the last, I would say, um, high fats like black seed oil, coconut oil, anything that gives you high fat. When you take a good, not saturated fat, good fats, the high fat
Mm,
content is good for your
right.
brain. You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
And another reason why I want to stress the fact of hydration is because our brain is water.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
that's why we feel tired, sluggish when we're not properly hydrated. And then
right.
when you pair that with the good fats, now you have good brain power. Your joints, everything is mobile. You're hydrated. You got all your amino acids. I think those three things are what people are lacking because a lot of our foods are not as rich and our soils is not as healthy as it used to be. So maybe
Mm,
when me and you was growing up back in the day, the soil was more fresh. We're
right.
getting our full amino acid complex. We're getting our full, mineral complex just by being outside playing in the dirt.
Right, right.
Kids don't
Mm-hmm,
play in the dirt no more.
nah, they sure don't. Right.
Tablets and
Right.
video games.
Hmm. So even drinking the soda, so the sugar is actually drying your brain out too. You drinking the sodas and the juices and all of that type of thing.
The sugar is
Wow.
killing us because the sugar is man-made. Once
Mm,
again, pure and source. A lot of this sugar is made in a lab,
hmm.
especially white sugar.
Right.
Sugar is new. Sugar is new to the United States. You know, we got sugar a few hundred years ago, and it
Hmm.
was all strictly about business.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's a lot of sweeteners that we could use. Why would we go to sugar? We could use honey as a sweetener. We could use molasses as sweeteners. But
Right.
once again, you know, these
I
people in
heard
high
about this.
places.
I heard about this agave. Is that a good sweetener too? Agave.
Agave, yeah, agave is decent. Agave is
Hmm.
good, but you know, me personally, I try to
Hmm.
stay away from all sugars. I try to get my sugars from
Okay.
fruits,
Right.
from
Okay.
natural fruits. You know,
Okay.
I would recommend that because the reason why the sugar is important because what's happening to people is they're getting diabetes. And the
Mm,
reason why they're getting type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes is because of this fake artificial sugar. And it's
mm,
not literally just the sugar, it's also what converts into sugar. A lot of people don't realize carbohydrates converts into glucose,
mhm,
the
mhm,
glucose that we need to use for energy. So
mhm,
now
mm,
if I'm eating certain foods that's the glucose is not pure like the sugar from a fruit, I'm getting a false sense of energy and eventually I'm going to crash. And then
right.
what starts to happen is you depend on this pattern. You got to get your
Mhm,
coffee in the morning, then you got to get it again at 3 o'clock. What is the
mhm.
coffee filled with? Sugar,
Sugar.
creamer, and that's
Mm,
what gets us the alertness and the awareness, and then it becomes a process that we follow. And then, you know, a few years down the line, you know, you got something going on with your heart because too much stimulant from
mhm.
caffeine is not good for the heart. It's not good for the brain. And yeah, sugar is a drug. It's one of the worst drugs on the planet.
So just to dispel a myth with the diabetes, um, is the fruit sugar just as bad? Because you got some of them that say, "Oh, don't eat the fruits either, because the fruit sugar just as bad as the regular sugar." Is 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 it a difference where their insulin spike, where their sugar spike because of the natural sugar? What is the real breakdown between that? Can somebody with a serious diabetes, can they still eat fruit and be okay, or can they need to stay away from that also?
That's a great question. So a person would that has if they have current diabetes, they will want to stay away from fruit only because the organ that takes all of the sugar is your pancreas.
Mm,
Your pancreas knows the difference from natural sugar and man-made sugar. So
hmm.
the body says, get this out of me, get this out of me. But if it's too much processed sugar, that's what overtakes the pancreas, and that's where you get the type 1 diabetes and then the type 2 diabetes.
Mm,
So yeah, we
mm,
wanna we wanna make sure that we get in the sugar from the correct source.
right.
Now, when you saying fruits as well, now remember a lot of fruits are not real in the supermarket as well. You want to
Okay.
get your
Okay.
fruits with seeds in it,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you want to get your organic fruit. If I
Okay.
go get fruit from, you know, a warehouse raised fruit, it's not gonna have that life in it. That
Hmm.
sugar content is still gonna be dead sugar because it wasn't from the source.
On the soil. It's hard to find those fruits with the seeds in them in the grocery stores, though. I mean, where can we go? Farmers market? I mean, where do I need
Farmers
to go to
market.
find it? Okay, okay,
Farmers
okay.
market, or we need to unite and create our own farm.
Mm, mm,
You
right.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
the realist right there.
That's what
Right,
we need to do. You know what I'm saying?
right, right, right. Because it's hard, man. You trying to. I mean, one year I was trying to find a seed of watermelon, man. I was trying to find a needle in a goddamn haystack, man.
For
You know what I'm
real. I've
saying?
been I've been trying to find it myself. Every time I go to these stores, these Publix, these Harris Tea, they
Mm-hmm.
only got the seedless one, and it's like,
See,
okay,
right,
yeah. And
right.
that's because they know that they're messing up. They're messing up they messing up the world. So
Right.
that's their way of still making their money. If they got to push a seedless something with dead with no life in it, they gonna feed it to us, and
And
we gonna
even
buy it.
even with and even with the grapes, I remember when I was little, man, you eat the grapes. Grapes had the seeds in it. I ain't tasted a grape with a seed in it in years, man. You know
Exactly,
what I'm saying?
exactly. That's because our soils are becoming depleted. So we got to get back to that natural state and be the ones doing it ourselves.
Okay. What about the water? They got a lot of things labeled spring water in these stores. This is spring water. This is water. But you can see the difference. I mean, very it be price or in actually ingredients in the damn water. And water shouldn't have ingredients. So what is the best water for us to drink during this time?
So what I do is I get the jug, I got the filter, I bought the filter in the house, and I
Hmm.
filter all my water. I think that would be the best thing to do. only
Mm,
because it's for one, your water is in the plastic. And that's
mm,
one of the reasons why a lot of us are dehydrated, because when we drinking water out of the
mm-hmm,
plastic particles go inside the water. When we drink that water, the body says get rid of the water. That's why
mm.
people drink bottled water, they pee. They pee so much. You're really
Right.
dehydrating yourself because there's no electrolytes in that for your body to absorb it. So for all
Mm,
the people out there, if you're drinking water all day and you're just using the bathroom, you're not storing the water in there. Don't believe the doctor when they say, "Oh, that means your urine is clean and you're
oh
healthy."
wow.
It does not
Wow.
mean that. It actually means that you're dehydrated.
Mm,
See, they
mm.
tell us everything in reverse. When we got when we got
You
when we
heard
got
that?
acid reflux, when we get acid reflux, they tell us that we don't have enough acid in our system. But it's a
Mm,
lie. You need
mm,
you need to add more acid. So they give us things to de-acid our body to keep us
right.
dependent on the pharmaceutical industry.
Mm,
So yeah,
mm.
everything. A lot of these things are in reverse.
Mm. Yeah,
We
that's a
talk
whole nother time.
opposite.
I want to bring you back on late another show, man, and talk about that pharmaceutical situation because that's out of control right now. And I know me and you had a few conversations on that, so I know you got some jewels for them. But
Oh
get,
yeah.
getting back to where we at. So um I want to why is it that in our community we're dealing with a lot of this high blood pressure and um, um, hypertension, which is the same thing. Um, um, Dealing with a lot of these headaches and a lot lately, like you said, a lot of our women with these fibroid cancers and all these type of things. Um, I want to ask you something, King. Is it strictly coming from the foods and things that we're eating, or is it something in the environment? Is it something else that we taking in? I mean, what? Why are all of these health disparities? That's especially the hypertension is going on in our community for years. I remember seeing a show on Good Times about hypertension, and that's from the 70s. You know what I'm saying? You
Right,
know what I
right.
mean? So we've been dealing with this for years. So is it true? Is it a myth that our community has the highest hypertension cases, or or is it that we just not taking care of ourselves and we just not eating and doing the right things for ourselves? And just to say, well, a side note on that, if we are not taking care of ourselves, is it the foods? Is it the preservatives? What is giving our people this? My mom right now is dealing with high blood pressure, and these doctors want to prescribe these pills for her. Every time she want to go, it's a pill. But then the pills do this. The side effect of the pill do this. Side effect of the pill do that. Um, Not to put too much on you, but after you give us a little bit of that, give us some prevention for the high blood pressure too. But starting my first part of the question is, what is the history and the problem with this hypertension in our community?
All right, so I believe that it's both. It's what we eat and it's also how we think.
Mm,
So you got
mm,
physical diseases and then you have spiritual diseases. That's why
okay,
you have the placebo effect too. If
right.
someone was sick, I can give you a fake pill and you really just healed yourself through the mind. So that shows
Mm,
that both are in sync. As far as the foods and the high blood, as far as the high blood pressure, it is coming from the foods. Because a lot of our foods are not electric. If you're eating fake meat, fake food, plastic. I know some people went to the bathroom and was like, "Why does this bathroom smell like plastic? Why does this bathroom smells like this?" It's because of the processed foods, the fake food. That's like us taking a kid toy, melting it down, turning it into eggs, giving it a flavor of an egg, and then eating it. This is what is becoming of our food. It's becoming fake. Now, when you're dealing with the blood pressure, when you're dealing with the high number, um, the top number, when that blood pressure is high, that strictly means that that person needs to do a detox. That means that that blood is moving so thick in their blood, in their veins, it's causing too much pressure on the arteries. So now you have the doctors that want to prescribe us nitrates and blood thinners to actually thin out the blood to get it to move smoothly to the heart and all the other arteries. So anyone out there dealing with high blood pressure, you will first want to start a detox, start cleaning your blood. Try to use the bathroom 3 times a day. A lot of the doctors say it's normal for people to have a bowel movement every other day. It is not normal for us to have a bowel movement every other day. It is very normal to have 2 to 3, maybe even 4 bowel movements a day. So your body's continually filtering and cleaning itself while you put in the food in.
Mm.
Another reason why we have high blood pressure is because look at the diet. This is a Western diet that we follow.
Right.
The
Right.
Western diet is in the morning, you eat the biggest meal. You get your eggs, you get your meat, and you get your carbs. That's the wrong way to start your day off because you're spiking your blood sugar first thing in the morning. So your whole day is going to be a decline. You're
Mm.
supposed to slowly spike your blood sugar towards the middle of the day so by nighttime you can relax.
Right.
And then that's all of this coincides with why we have sleep disturbances, insomnia. A lot of people don't get good sleep and
Right.
all of this kind of coincides with everything. So to stay on the topic of the blood pressure, now the bottom number, when you're dealing with the bottom number, you need minerals, meaning
Mm.
you're lacking potassium, you're lacking magnesium. Magnesium is very good for the muscles, excuse me, and very good heart because it keeps it relaxed. It keeps your heart relaxed. So anybody who has heart palpitations or anything like that, jitters, nervous, anxiety, get you some magnesium. You want to calm your heart down. That keeps your heart calm. That's why when that bottom number is high, that means that your arteries can burst
Mm.
because it's not you don't have the correct vitamins and minerals to also assimilate and thin in the blood and also cleanse it as well. So top number, the high blood pressure is a detox, clean the blood. The blood is moving like molasses in your veins. We want to move it fluent like water. Once that blood starts moving fluid, it doesn't put pressure in the arteries and pressure on the heart. That pressure alleviates itself with the blood being able to flow, the blood pressure goes down.
Mm. Mm.
So for
Okay.
anybody who wants to work on their blood pressure, it's pretty much working on your digestive system. The digestive system and blood pressure goes hand to hand. Because what happens is how does the blood become deep? How does the blood become dirty? Is because we're not using the bathroom correctly. So
Mm.
there's a lot of us who, try to have a number two, and instead of it being a number two, it was a 1.5. Only a
Right.
little bit came out, and the rest went back in. And we got that feeling like, man, what's going on? And then we go eat something, we don't think about it anymore. And what happens to those chunks and particles of food that never came out through the waste like it was supposed to? It goes back into the bloodstream.
Mm.
So a lot of people are walking around with chunks of food particles in their bloodstream, which is blocking their blood flow. And it's predominantly to a lot of people who eat a lot of outside food, who
Right.
party a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, you got these people on the honey packs.
Right. Right.
Everybody's taking a little honey packs is because their blood is not flowing correctly.
Right. Right.
Clean
Right.
your blood. When you messing with that
Mhm.
honey pack, you put more pressure on your heart to do
Right.
work that it wasn't able to do in the beginning. Just clean up the blood, clean up the blood and everything will start moving fluidly.
Right. 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 Can't tell them boys that. They don't want to hear that now.
They want the honey pack. They want the quick fix. Nah, it's a process. Get you some chlorophyll, get you some burdock root, get you some
Right.
sea moss.
Mm-hmm.
For people who are dealing with high blood pressure now, I would
Mm-hmm.
recommend them laying off the meats, laying off
Mm.
white foods. Stay away
Mm.
from the white bread, stay away from white foods because white foods are bleached. They don't have any life in them. We
Mm.
need life. We need to feed ourselves, not kill ourselves.
Right.
I would go try to do a fast or even skip the first meal, work on the digestive system. Um, I would tell people my advice for people is to find some bitters or take a cap full of apple cider vinegar, squeeze
Mm.
some lemon in water, put acid in your body. The more
Mm.
acid that you have in your body, it breaks down the food. What happens when you pour acid on an object?
Eats it right up.
eats
Right.
it up. Yeah, so we have acid in our body that's not functioning correctly.
Right.
It's not breaking the food up to where it turns into liquid, and then our large intestines can pass it down to the small intestines to absorb the nutrition. When we
Mm.
have chunks of food particles, we're not chewing our food down, we're not giving our body time to rest. You got all these food particles in your body, which is applying pressure not only to your small intestines, large intestines, your esophagus, your stomach, and then your heart.
In a situation like that, do you need a colon cleanse? What should you cleanse your colon? I mean, what's the best way to get those extra particles out of you?
So yeah, I would do a colon cleanse. Now the best colon cleanse that I would recommend is not necessarily a cleanse where you're gonna take it and you're gonna run to the bathroom. It's
Hmm.
called psyllium husk. It's just a fiber. I tell
Mm.
people uptake their fiber. So what the fiber does is when the food particles that haven't digested is still stuck in a large intestine,
Hmm.
what happens is when you take the psyllium husk or when you take fiber, when the water hits the fiber swells up. So
Right.
this is your intestines. This
Hmm.
is the fiber. It swells up and it grabs everything that was stuck to the lot to your intestines. It grabs it on the way out. So you leave no food particles behind. That's why they say eat fiber if you eat meat, because we have no digestive enzymes to break down meat. We should not be eating meat at all. We have no digestive enzymes to be able to break down meat to its liquid form. So what they say is why they say in this Western diet is pair the meats with the vegetables is because when you eat the meats, the fiber from the vegetables is a buffer to push the meat out of your system. So why are we eating the meat in the first place if we don't have now normal enzymes to even break it down?
Even break it down. Why we even taking that into our bodies? So how can we wean ourselves off, or our family members that may be taking any of these high blood pressure medicines, or how can we wean them off the medicine? What's the best way to get them to back off? They want to say, they want to follow the steps that you're taking, that you're saying, and they want to get rid of this medicine and taking these pharmaceuticals. What's the best way to wean themselves off? Should they have go to the physician first, or how should they handle that?
All right, well, just to make it clear, I'm not here to treat or prevent or cure any diseases. I don't want them to Dr. Sabi me, you
Most
know?
definitely.
So I want so I want to start off right there. But they be at my door talking about you caring too much. You know,
Hey, y'all heard that a man say you're not gonna Dr. CB, man. You know what I'm
you
saying? He
know what I'm
just letting
saying?
you
They
know
like,
what's
oh,
up.
he giving the people too much.
Right.
So uh what I would say is I would say start slow,
Hmm.
because you may have some people out there that may be so damaged that they may need a boost from the pharmaceutical
Okay.
industry,
Okay.
because
Okay.
the source of the pharmaceutical industry is natural herbs anyway. They
Hmm.
just put extra cut on it to be able to to distribute it to the masses.
Right.
So
Right.
when we're taking these pills and we looking at the commercials and it has 25 side effects, is because there's only maybe 5% of that natural herb and the rest of it is fillers to
Right.
be able to mass produce it. So I wouldn't tell people to just jump off their medication. I
Okay.
would tell them to consult with their doctor, let their doctor know what they are doing and what they're planning on doing. And
Mm.
if you feel in your heart and your energy and your soul, the natural way is the way to go. Because I know people who say, F the doctor, F what the doctor said. I'm not telling the doctor what I'm doing. I'm not telling the doctor that I stopped taking these high blood pressure medicine. And then when they do what I tell them to do, and they go back to the doctor says, "Man, your blood pressure is down to normal." Little do the doctor know, they ain't even taking your medicine. They did what I told them to do. So, definitely consult with your doctor, because, I don't want to give people the wrong impression saying stop that and you so far damaged
Right.
that you may
Right.
need that boost. So I strictly deal with prevention. So for
Okay.
all my people who are having signs of illnesses, disease is nothing but dis-ease. If you're having any dis-ease, get on it before it gets out of hand. So the dis-ease is a signal that's telling us, hey, pay more attention to this part of your body because there
Mm.
could be something going on over here.
Right.
So I practice prevention. This is why I take the sea moss constantly, the elderberry, the aminos, stay hydrated. So we want to prevent diseases. We don't
Mm.
want to, I rather spend 10,000 on herbs and natural things that I could make into tonics, juices that I could make to get me
Right.
through the year than to not spend none of it, give it all to give it all to, the fast foods, the liquor companies and all these restaurants and give it to them. And then what's
Mhm.
gonna happen when I go to the doctor? I'm gonna end up with a $100,000, $200,000 bill. If we
Right.
deal with prevention, we would never see that time.
Mm.
We would only need to go to the doctors if we accidentally hurt ourselves. We got an open wound that need to get stitched up, regular stuff like that.
Right, right. Because that's another question I was going to ask, because that's another one. That's another big question mark in our community. Should I go to the holistic guru, a person like you know what I'm saying, and come through if I'm dealing with any health disparities, or just trying to prevent any health disparities? Or should I trust the doctor? Should I go to the doctor? Which how should I, how, for people that have that question, do you include the doctor into the regimen? Does is the holistic guru or the holistic person you dealing with, is that the number one person you deal with? How do they combine both of those things, if we should? And um uh what's the best way of making sure that we stay, like you said, full of prevention, instead of trying to cure something? We stay prevent in a preventive method. Is it dealing with the doctor, or is it dealing with the holistic guru?
Right. So that's a good question because I would say it's all about a person's mindset, what kind of
Mhm.
mind they have. How far are they into this Western medicine and how
Right.
far are they into trusting their own people and themselves?
Mm.
So
Mm.
you got some people that, they won't do the natural way because they feel like it's going to take too long. When you go get that pill from the doctor, you got some pain, you take the pill, 30 minutes later the pain is gone. So it's all about your level of mental strength as well to be able to go through that process and to believe and trust the process. When you trust the process, that's trusting the health guru. When you don't trust the process, when you second guess it, now you trust in the medical industry. So I would say, yeah, it's all about mindset. Sometimes we may take things, or a person may be prescribed this herb, and that herb may not work for them, and now they ready to give up. There may be another herb that works for your body. See, everything doesn't work for everybody. Burdock root may be good for me to take. Someone else that may take burdock root, it may hurt their stomach. So that's another thing. We also got to know what's good for our body, and try not to look for quick fixes. When we look for quick fixes, that's when we bump into the roadblocks where the mental is like, you know what, I need this pain gone. I need this situation relieved as soon as possible. I'm not willing to go through the process. So I tell people, just try to just study more into African science, African healing, African I want to say African way of eating. I would tell people to follow Mediterranean diet. They say Mediterranean diets is one of the best diets to follow because this Western diet is not it. It's not it. We shouldn't be eating meat for breakfast, meat for lunch, and meat for dinner and wonder why we got cancer. You
So,
mute.
what's the best thing to eat? Sorry about that, brother. So what's the best thing to eat? I like to be quiet. I want you to get your point across as you're
Nah,
dropping
you good.
jewels on tonight. So what is the best thing should we eat in the morning to actually break that fast in the morning? What's the best thing to eat?
Honestly, the best thing to do for people, so let's say if you had a job that requires your mental, the
Mhm.
best thing to do is to not eat in the morning because what you do is when you
Mm,
eat first thing in the morning, all of your blood rushes to the digestive system.
right.
It
Hmm.
robs the brain, it robs the eyes, it robs every organ because it focuses on just the digestive system. So if you
Mm,
need your mind to work and to get things going, you may want to fast first thing in the morning. And for
right.
the people who, work the hard labor jobs, they're like, hey, that food gets me a little umph. You
Hmm.
know, um, I would recommend a healthy way of eating, some oatmeal,
Mm.
Some eggs, avocado, things like that. Start your day off with high fats, or start your day off with some protein.
Okay. Okay.
Get
Okay.
you some protein, not the whey protein, not the milk protein, not that
Mm-hmm.
kind of protein.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Whey protein is not good for you either. Huh?
Nah, it's all animal byproducts.
Mm. Mm.
Why people think that it works is because, yeah, it gets you big, it fills you up, but you filled up with fillers just like meat. When you start eating meat, you eat enough meat, you start to get because the
Right.
meat is just sitting there. That's really inflammation.
Mm.
People mistaking that as buff. You're inflamed. You really inflamed. You really inflamed.
mm. Wow.
Inflammation. Hmm.
Mm. Oh, that mercy, man. So, um, what about as far as our dinners, our lunches? What can you suggest for us to eat to maybe change our diet with that? What are some things that we can eat to help? You know what I'm
Well,
saying? Help
kind of
people.
kind of to simplify, because I can't give everything away, because
Right.
that's what I do for a living. So
Yes,
they
sir.
could go to my website and get the full details. But I would just tell people, if you want to live a more healthier lifestyle, as far as
And we definitely gonna have,
breakfast.
not to pause. We're definitely gonna have his website, the information for it, for his holistic company and everything. Gonna be underneath the video, so you can tap in. You know what I'm saying? Shop with him. He ships. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, man, I love his products. I deal with him on the regular. This is something I'm endorsing. I'm letting you know. So this is real deal. This ain't no bull. You got the jewels. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the jewels. I'm trying to hit your queen up. I need something for my neck. I've been asking you for this for the longest. I know
I
you're a busy
got you.
man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
I
mean?
got you.
Tell the
Hey,
queen I
she was
need
working on my
something.
piece. That's what it was. She was
Oh,
working
that's
on this
that's
right
that's
here.
fire, man. Let me let them see this. What's up? Let me see that. That's fire, man. Well, so can you give us some rundown on that? What type of crystals are those?
I don't even want to take her shine, man. I'm gonna have her do this
Uh,
one day. I don't even
Okay,
want to
okay.
take
Well,
her shine, man.
I tell you what we gonna do. You let me know whenever she's got some free time, because I would love for you and her to also come back on and break down. You know what I'm saying, the products, especially the crystals, because in our community we dealing with the same scenario. You got a lot of these charlatans selling these crystals and selling these things, and they don't really know what it is, and they're not about it. And that's what I love about you and your queen, because you when you get anything from them, I'm gonna let y'all know. They let you know what you're getting, what it does for you, and break down, and they'll let you know even if it's not for you. Hey, listen, this may not be, this not you. You know what I'm saying? It's something else. We'll work on that later. They're not just trying to sell you stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love.
So this consists of red jasper, malachite, copper
Mm,
for grounding, and
mm,
it's hard for me to say the word.
mm-hmm.
Carnelian.
Cardinal.
That's
Okay,
a tongue
cardinal.
twister for me.
Mm-hmm,
Carnelian.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all of these have significant energy, because I am a metaphysician. So, I study in
Yes,
metaphysics
you are.
heavy, so
Yes, you are.
I deal with a lot of energy. So,
Mm-hmm,
these is just pretty much, protecting the energy. I feel like, these crystals are good too for energy
mm-hmm.
blockers, to keep the outside, keep the unseen realm intact. That's what
Right.
we keep these for, to keep the unseen realm intact.
Intact. Right. Right. Mm.
So we're
Yes.
not being, we're not being bombarded by certain entities or energies.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Certain energies and entities repel, because we're all energy.
Right.
That's why I'm saying that we're nothing but energy. We're
Mm-hmm.
energy. We're human beings having a spiritual experience. No,
Yes.
excuse me, it's opposite. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience.
Mm. Mm.
And
Mm.
spirit is energy. That's what
It is.
spirit is. So we
That's
are
what.
energetic. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yes.
And food, I know we talking about health as well. Food is not just what we put in our mouth. I also want to stress the fact as well.
Mm-hmm.
Food is also what we put into our brain. You can be
Mm.
just as sick with cancers, high blood pressure, all of these things. Let's say you follow a good diet. Because
Okay.
I don't want to misdirect people into thinking that all you have to do is just eat good and you're gonna live a good life. You
Mm-hmm.
also have to think good.
Right.
You got
Mm-hmm.
food for your thought as well. So if you put in the proper foods in your brain
Mm-hmm.
and in your system, you in sync with the one with the higher power. So I do
Mm,
want to also stress the fact that food is not only through the mouth, it's also through the brain. So if you're
mm.
feeding your brain with the wrong foods, you can develop sicknesses as well.
Yes, you
You
can.
know what I'm saying? Like all the rap music, all the drill music we got out now. If you constantly keep listening to those do 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 that energy, that frequency, you can make yourself sick.
Mm,
You can make
mm,
yourself sick. So part of one of my healing things is I tell people if you got things ain't going on in your life correctly, if energy seems like it's distorted, clear the background noise. Clear the
mm.
background noise. Turn the TV off a little bit. Turn the music off.
Right.
Get in peace. Meditate because that follows your health too. Stress kills as well, and stress starts up here too. So that all coincides with health at the same in the same sentence.
Mm, mm, mm. That's heavy. That's heavy. That's definitely heavy, and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not nothing that sounds crazy. You know what I mean? Just dealing with natural things. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Exactly.
but hey, listen, I appreciate you coming through, brother. You know what I'm saying? I know you're a busy man, I appreciate the time. I mean, I took you told me what the time was, so I'm not gonna run over it. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you stopping through. Um, I want the people to know, like you said, also he's a metaphysicist. So on the next, he's going to come back with us, and he's going to break down some things about Antarctica and the Hollow Earth. Man, this brother here, man, is sharp. Man, is attacked. Man, I mean, you just beginning just to hear what he got to bring. But you know what I'm saying? That's what we dealing with, multifaceted brothers and sisters that we got. The man has a holistic guru company, and he's also dealing with a whole nother research and a whole nother stuff. So we multifaceted people, man. We got to realize we not just one dimensional beings, man. You know what I'm saying? We can do anything that we want to do. You know what I mean? So I just want to keep that, because that's a good example for that we all should follow. You know what I mean? You don't have to just be this way. You can study and do whatever you need to do, because there's other things to do. Our people perish for the lack of knowledge. The book y'all love to read say that. You know what I'm saying? So you
Yup.
know what it is. You know what I mean? But most definitely, I appreciate you, Scorpion King, man, and like I said, you came through and dropped some jewels on us. I'm definitely going to have his company information at the bottom. Like I said, he also does consultations, so I'm gonna have his number at the bottom. You can tap in with him. You know what I mean? I know listen, promise you, phenomenal products, man. You know what I'm saying? Get you back where you need to be, and also the education that you need, because that's the most important. Not just selling something to you, because a lot of these herbal situations that we've seen, especially since COVID, turned into a lot of commercial situation, and it ain't starting not a lot of teaching. That's what I love about you,
Mhm.
once again, brother. But
Thank you.
but,
Thank you.
but definitely, I'm gonna let you get the last word, and then we gonna close out.
Yeah, so if anybody wanna tap in with me, my website is e3trifecta.com. You can I got my nutritionist consultations up there, personal training, CMOS, elderberry products, do walkathons, you know, my people in Charlotte, we just get together, walk. There's a lot of stuff we got going on. I'm getting ready to do a juice challenge, a 30-day juice challenge. So I want people to tune into that. I think I'm gonna start that within the next 30 days, but I want everybody to kind of connect in a unique way doing this juice challenge. So I'm willing to do the work with you guys. So yeah, I kind of want to sign off with that, you know. Um and yeah, we're gonna do a few more of these because I got a lot more to speak about, and I know you got a lot more questions, but you know,
Yes,
we
sir.
both got things to do. So yeah, next time is definitely gonna be, you know, something more to, you know, something that's definitely gonna, you know, take off. So yeah,
Hey
so
man,
just
you blessed us tonight, man. So I mean, you dropped jewels on us tonight. So I'm not definitely gonna take away from nothing tonight. I mean, you everything I asked you, man, you had an answer for. That's what I love. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's
So
what we do, man. That's what we do, man. It's was something that I do every day, and I tell people, you know, just keep your mind clear and try to keep your body right. And the reason why that's very important is because we're not only going through a physical war, we're going through a spiritual war.
mhm,
This is these things. We need our minds to be in a certain vibration. These also will open up your awareness and consciousness, which we all need to tap into. Why that's
Mm,
important is because if all of us wake up at the same time, we can spark and change the world. We can make planets move and things shift. We can create our own equinox and wipe out negativity just like that. So that's why it's important that we all stay in sync, each one teach one, and we all just try to do the right thing.
yes, sir, man. And we appreciate you. You know what I mean? Definitely from our family, man, to yours, man. Hey, y'all peace. Y'all stay up, stay healthy.